Hello everyone, welcome to my studio. My name is Dot Keller and I'm located in Buffalo, New York. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York and had very fine art teachers along the way who encouraged me to pursue my small interest in art and expand my knowledge. And one of the classes that first excited me when I was in high school was you had to pick one of the primary colors and add black and white to it. And I had chosen yellow. And when I saw what happened when you had black and yellow together, I was hooked. I couldn't believe how beautiful the new color was. So with that, I went to Buffalo State and majored in art and teaching, and had a wonderful time exploring painting and everything that could come from it. And Buffalo was very lively and a lot was going on in the 60s. And it was a great place to be for cutting edge artists. And my favorite artists at that time were Hans Hofmann and Matisse. And I just thought the colors were unbelievable. I couldn't get over them. So when I wanted to pick out the things I wanted to be stimulated by, I thought about the things that I loved the most in my life. And our summers were spent in Breezy Point, New York, which is an ocean and a bay with a little peninsula in the middle. And that love of the seashell and the water and the ocean had stayed with me. I started in remembrance in Buffalo of what Breezy was like in the summer. And I would use crayon and oil paint and cut paper and do collages. And then I would use that as maybe a thumbnail image of expanding my painting into large paintings. I do paint on a lot of different surfaces, and they each had their own magical quality for me. And I think that being an artist is very exciting. Time just goes by so fast when you're painting. It's hard to really believe how many hours you've been standing in front of your easel. And you're just in another world, a beautiful world of color and line and form. I'd like to show you one of my first collages that I did before I really got into painting. I had taken photographs of my family, and this is the boat that goes from Sheepshead Bay to Breezy Point. And as I look at it now, these are just the memories of me growing up at the beach with my family. This is a portrait of a seashell I did, which I love very much, and I did a lot of these. I would do one every morning. This shell is that. And I love oil on paper. It can be washy, you can use cold wax with it. It's just a wonderful medium to use. It's very exciting. The colors stay well for a very long time. These are more maps. So each one was a seashell per day, but I made them sometimes very tiny, and then in my studio I would enlarge them. I was very fascinated by taking the shell and then expanding it to imaginary colors. And if you look at the orange shell on the top, I was taking the blue and the orange as a complementary colors of magic, and I started shell portraits. And some are pink and sky blue and lavender, but they're all a play on the colors I love so much. So that was how I painted my seashells. I also had found many dogs in my neighborhood. I found 5, and I gave some away because I didn't have a dog at the time, but I did find this one very, very special dog, and I called it How I Met My Honey. So along with my regular paintings, I've also written this book, and at the moment I'm writing a book called What Is Taffy Doing? And Taffy was my first dog, and I named her Saltwater Taffy because I loved the ocean so much. And I knew this little girl, and she was 2, and she would call me up in the morning and say, "What is Taffy doing?" So I started making up stories about what Taffy might be doing, like brushing her teeth. So this book isn't printed yet. It's in the process of just being finished. I love, love, love oil paint. I love the feel of it. And for me, there is no other medium that pleases me more. So the music I usually play in my studio, I think, is more classical or country western. I like both. I think that if you find something you love and you find your passion for how you respond to something, whether it's about color or texture or sculpture, the immensity of the art world has so much to offer all of us. And it's something we can always do in our life, no matter how busy we get. We have it in our heart, and when the time is right, we will express ourselves in a creative way that gives us great pleasure for our entire life.